Construction on 24 three-story townhomes in downtown Atlanta began in late summer 2017 and has been thriving ever since. Atlanta natives and renters are familiar with this kind of construction, even on streets where there's nothing like it. Since 2013, the median sales price of a home was $225,000 and has now risen to over $400,000. And since March of 2017, median rent has risen $150 on average per month.
I would say there's some good practices and some bad practices that the City of Atlanta is pursuing in their development. Some good practices, I certainly think things like the Beltline is a way to organize development around the core of Atlanta. I think some less good practices might be something like the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, where they've encroached on neighborhoods and pushed people out using public tax dollars to do that. I wouldn't say I say that's more of a standard way things are done. Whereas something like the Beltline, reusing old train lines probably derives a lot from the 90s Rails to Trails movement. Certainly on the east side, it didn't displace anyone yet. So those are kind of contrasts in ways that it's been done both good and maybe not quite so good in Atlanta.
We spoke with current renter DJ Thomas, whose once clear view of the city is now plywood and cement.
I kind of have mixed feelings about it. On one hand, it means that Atlanta's growing, which I think is great. But also on the other hand, I think you have to ask yourself at what cost, especially in a place where we live, Old Fourth Ward, Sweet Auburn, to be specific, which is a historically black neighborhood. To what extent, is it worth it to build all these new homes and potentially kick people who've been in this neighborhood out for a long time? So it's kind of exciting and also kind of upsetting. I plan to stay here for as long as possible, so it doesn't really affect me too much, or isn't right now. Our rent did go up, but I don't really think it had to do with the new construction because it didn't go up the last year. So I think regardless of whether they were going to build something or not, I think our rent was probably going to go up, and luckily it didn't go up that much.
This is Alexandria Sapp from Georgia State University reporting from Old Fourth Ward.